チャンス。加速は今だ。なんだと。
Nothing. I'm just in the mood for a smoke. Not too bad.
And as you guessed it, I probably spent more time indulging in racing videos rather than putting brain power into thinking of the origami design. Quite some time back in August last year, I kind of felt that it was time to have a car design in my arsenal. And not being exactly a car enthusiast, I don't know a lot of cars, but I want the car that I design to have some kind of impact. Do it once, do it good, and bounce. So of course, what other car to choose from other than the AE86. I believe that this car brings a lot of hopeful underdog good feelings amongst car enthusiasts. Toyota AE86 Sprinter Trueno, to be exact, as Trueno means thunder, has the pop-up headlights. The AE86 Corolla Levin means lightning, has the fixed headlights. So step 1, look up for images and start defining what you want to include in your model. Of course, there's always this balancing act you need to play when you design origami. If you include too much details, it gets too complicated and time consuming to design. Too little details you include, you may not even nail the model identity. And here I already failed step 1 because I sourced for an anatomically incorrect AE86. This is the cartoonish version, which caused me a lot of problems down the line when it comes to proportions. So don't underestimate accuracy early on in the process. And the AE86 should look like that. I was a lot more ambitious earlier on. I wanted to include the lower headlights. The pop-up headlights should be totally enclosed like a box. Color change, windows, car plates, so on and so forth. And very quickly I got jaded in the process and was constantly fighting with the choice to remove the windows, car plates, lower headlights. I keep having the nagging voice in me that if I remove all this, it becomes too easy because the color change just comes from all perimeters conveniently lining all the lower edges of the AE86. So being in science field, I took to science method and did some literature review. I studied a lot of hurry-hardy vehicles, how color change is made, adding windows, tires, headlight molecules. However, this was more generic vehicle form of expression, so I also wanted to see how others translated a very specific car model from real life to origami. So I studied Boyce's BMW. I saw that it was also very challenging to include the vehicular profiles onto the car, and adding windows were always a real pain. Then I also chanced on Brian's Lotus Esprit. Interesting, this vehicle has a very similar look to the 86. Note that the CP has some kind of very high level intricate pleating, which I may not want to include in my model. I hope mine can be easily replicable for everybody. So I thought, since Boyce's BMW model has this 90-degree drop, I'm just gonna follow his lead and ignore the accounting for the slope. If not, I just cannot get moving. So I started off playing with some grids and taught myself how to form the profile, The coupe hatchback profile is very important to nail down. I started off with a 2x2 square for the roof, but it failed miserably, then 3x3 roof. And the 3x3 stuck for a long time until around December last year. I accidentally tried on the 4x4 roof and it worked. So I also studied some papercraft layout to identify how everything comes together and translated them to, yet again, Microsoft Excel. Very quickly I ditched the tail light, the lower headlights and windows, the enclosed pop-up headlights. Around this point in time, I struggled a lot with the proportions. Countless paper car layouts I've printed, cut out, folded, discarded because they were too fat, too long, too this, too that. A lot of back and forth. I even went to find the 86 so-called blueprint and map it onto Excel itself and hope that the translation will work better, which actually it also didn't. So finding good proportion was the most horrible part of it, because by then I already have plans for the wheels and the lower part of the car. I don't know if you call it a bumper, body kit. Headlights I'm just gonna use long flaps yet again. So while dealing with these frantic house moving arrangements, maybe I'll cover that in the next video, the first draft was born. And then very quickly it became the green one, which I kept it in quite a raw form because I wanted to be able to unfold and see the sequence. Then good things start to happen. I managed to get the horizontal tail light by chance. Then although lower height initially, I also managed to get the exhaust pipe. I get to choose one or two to develop. Then shortly after, I was able to push the tail lights higher so it looks more real. Then it was on the brown draft, I tried pinching off the grid line a little bit and oh my word, everything came together like magic. It was like adding that last bit of seasoning and the taste was magnified tenfold. Then while doing the first black white, also known as the Panda Trueno, the layer management was further considered to lead paper away from the middle, as a lot of shaping holes were going to take place there. And so this is it, putting it all together to get the AE86 printed Trueno. Hope you enjoyed this video and get some inspiration. And if you haven't, do check out the tutorial in my channel. Do subscribe so you don't miss any uploads, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!